All right. I'm here with Anthony and Sarah, and we're here to talk about Caddy Hack. And I watched this movie yesterday, and I gotta tell you guys, I absolutely loved every single moment of it. I
Oh,
think
thank you.
the
Great,
best
thanks.
So we
the
like to
best
hear.
the best thing I could say about this movie was Caddyshack meets Gremlins if they were a love child made by the Troma company. I
Yes,
think
I love it.
that's the best way I could describe this movie. It just was mind-blowingly insane. So great job on this
Oh,
movie, guys.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
So my first question is, where did you come up with the idea for this movie?
I'm gonna give it smoking cigarettes. Uh, I'm doing a bad
Cigarettes?
habit. Yeah, cigarettes. The rest came later, but I was at the NJ Horror Con at a horror convention, and you're there for hours and hours. And normally, you always end up outside smoking cigarettes with everybody. If you've been to conventions, you know this. That's where you meet everybody at the bar and by the little smoking area they let you in. So I was standing out there with Rob, the owner of Wild Eye, who produced the movie, and horror conventions. You've been to one, I'm sure everyone's seen them. The cosplay, the murder, the blood. You're in this nice fancy hotel, and there's people covered in blood, dressed like serial killers,
Yeah.
things like that. So we're standing outside, just shooting the shit. And I guess at the same time they were having like a golf convention where there was all these golfers there, and they were just giving everybody the weirdest looks, like they could not believe what they were seeing. And I just turned around like, what are these people thinking of all this right now? And then we're like, has there ever been a golf horror movie? And just off the top of our heads, we couldn't think of one. And I was like, yeah, like Caddy Slash. And then right there and then I just came up with the whole concept and pitched it to him. And he was like, hey, if you get me this script in 2 weeks, we will make this movie. And it started as Caddy Slash. And as I said in the script, he said, well, this isn't as much of a slash. How about we switch the name to Caddy Hack? Because we're hacking up people. I'm like, it sounds good to me. So that's kind of basically how it all came together. And from there, the rest we just went from script and to where we're at now.
I think that's awesome because I like the fact that it's actually a play on Caddyshack, which is one of my favorite golf movies. But I can tell you two golf movies I could think of right off the bat that are horror movies. One is called Blades.
Yep,
About
Troma Blades.
the demonic lawnmower, and then
Yep.
the Greenskeeper which had John Rocker, the controversial baseball pitcher, as apparently a murderous greenkeeper killing people on the golf course.
Oh, I've
Those
never
are,
seen.
those,
I've
those are
never seen that one.
yeah, I just heard about it like maybe last year, and I finally got to see it. And it came out, I think, it came out like the early 2000s, something like that. But it was pretty good. It was a nice little twist to the story, but it was overall really good effects and everything.
Yeah, once this one kind of came out, like on Letterboxd, it was on a list of golf horror movies. I'm like, wait, there's more, and I clicked on it. There's only 4 of them, but Blades was one that I hadn't seen before, but it didn't click at the time. And yeah, I'm gonna check out all the other ones just to see how we compare with them.
That's awesome. And so, Sarah, my next question is for you. How did you get involved with the production?
Anthony and I have been working together on projects for, God, a long time, 20 plus years now. So it's like we've worked together for years, and it's always kind of been a skeleton crew. But he writes and directs, and I produce and edit. And then we also kind of fill in all the other roles that need filling in as production continues. Low budget life,
Yeah, we
Yep.
started out making shot on video, high eight movies together, and have moved up to now like where we're at. We only started. I mean, we were making our short films and we did a couple shorts and features just in the recent years. I feel we've taken to the next, quote unquote, serious level. As serious as you can get when you make a movie called Caddy Hack.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta say, one thing I liked was the cast because they're all such eclectic characters. I like that you had the hero caddy who's kind of like a nerdish type, and then you had, I'm gonna call her the Lacey underall of the film. The owner's niece who comes in as the new caddy manager. I call her Lacey because she reminded me of that character. And then of course you have the goofball caddies like in Caddyshack as well. But one thing that really got to me was the golf course owner himself. I could know he was modeled after a certain somebody who shall not be named. But
Yeah.
once
Don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, well, once his pivotal scene comes in, that's where all the references of
Yeah.
Voldemort, as I'll call him, starts to come and play. So my next question is, what was it like with the cast of this film? Because they all were hysterically like either goofball great or just like phenomenal. It was just like a total like rainbow of the cast, like in terms of the characters.
Yeah, the whole cast was amazing, and a lot of them, some of them we worked with before, like in our other films, and a lot of them this is the first time. Just them coming on set was more the first time we said more than 3 words to them, like at the audition. But I think everybody kind of went crazy. Everybody saw their characters, and they kind of got the tone. I'm like, let's just because a lot of the actors came from an improv troupe. Because we had an actor who was in the last movie we made, Girls from That Blood, and he was in a improv troupe. So well, why don't we invite them out to the auditions and let's see, especially with how goofy this movie is. I'm like, you can use all the comedy help that we can, especially if they can bring a lot of that to that. So I think that really helped because they came in and they saw who their characters were and they just kind of ran with it.
Yep.
Jim, who actually plays he who we shall not be named, he's really good. He was intense the whole. He stayed in his character, and he was very scary the whole time working with him.
I like that, and I also like Hambone had to be one of my favorite characters, probably the best groundskeeper character since Carl Spackler, because I just
Oh,
loved what he did with. I just loved what he did with it. He turned he. It was like he was Bill Murray times 1,000, like the way he presented himself, and then of course he goes to war with the Gophers, and just like he was phenomenal. I mean,
and that's all him. That's all him. I can't take credit for that. Again, like I said, when I write a script, I'm done. I'm like, here's what I want. Here's your lines. Here's your ideas. Now go and create something. And he came with that character. And we've been working with Nick actually for a very long time. He's one of our original repertoire actors. We pull and pick. He's in all of our movies. So he came with that character. So that's all him. And he I think he did a really good job and he really made something out of that.
Give him
Uh
a shout out too. He actually voiced all of the Gophers as well.
yeah.
It's doing Hambone.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love. That's what I love. The scene where he who shall not be named gets his comeuppance.
Oh
The
yeah.
line that comes out, I was literally like in tears when I heard it talk when I heard the Gophers talk, and it was just so funny. And the fact that the Gophers were like hand puppets was even more hysterical because it reminded me of the old Caddy Shack movie where it was an animatronic gopher, and I like
Right.
that. It of course it's a low budget movie, so I know you're not going to have that technology, but to use that as what we saw plus this visual effects of them like their eyes lighting up, and then it was just the Gophers were just like hysterical in this movie.
Yeah, I think the Gophers being just like the puppets there kind of adds to it. Again, so you're not taking it too seriously. Again, I don't want anyone to take this movie seriously at all. Like we took making the movie serious, like the making of the movie, but we did not take the movie serious.
No, you can't, especially if you have a party off in the movie. A
Yeah.
couple of musical sequences that come out of nowhere. I mean, I was like, if you take this movie seriously, you seriously got some problems. You just got to enjoy this movie. Just
Right. Just sit
go for the
back,
ride.
relax, have a couple beers, and just let it wash over you because you're gonna have a crazy time. Just relax.
Exactly. And I got the third act. I mean, when everything happens, it reminded me of when all the Gophers get together in the shack. It reminded me of Gremlins when
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Like Gremlins 2, especially when they're all that one scene where they're all chilling at the bar and they're watching
Yeah,
the brain gremlin having a conversation with the talk show host dressed up as Dracula. I just thought of
right.
that scene right away, and it was just hysterical.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, which is why, and we kind of played off of even really in the beginning when that scene was like stereotypes. We just kind of played with that because with Gremlins, with them, all the stuff they got through with saying all their character, the Gremlins in those party scenes were stereotypes and things like that. So we just kind of took Gremlins. We hope we made Joe Dante proud if he ever, sees this movie. Which that we took that Gremlins, even Gremlins 2, it crazy that wasn't like took it to like the next level.
Yeah, and I also like the scene where the niece has a golf contest with the local veteran, and I thought when I saw the veteran, the way he was talking, I thought of Chubbs from Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah,
I
I never
picked
made
that
that
up because the way he was, and even the way like he looked like he had the wooden hand, like the way he was standing at times. I was like, I was like, it's gotta be Chubbs. It's from Happy Gilmore, because it's just
That
like,
was not on purpose, but I'll tell you what, that's great. 'Cause we're big Adam Sandler fans. So for you to say that, that's really awesome.
it is.
That really was just Kirk is a really good actor who we work with a lot. And he didn't have time to like be in a lot of the scenes. I was like, well, I have this. It was originally written as like an bitter old white man. So I was like, I got this scene. You could be in this. Is like, oh yeah, I'll do this because I've never done that before. And with Kirk, I always try to give him roles that, he's not playing a cop or like a gangster or something. He ends up playing. So I'm like, all right, last one, I think we made him. What's the word we would use
He
for?
he was like a very flamboyant hairdresser in the last
Right.
one.
And oops, as it starts. And then yeah, so this one, like, hey, you're gonna play a rich old bitter old man. So we always try to give him something new to do. And I think he really took that role. And I'm gonna tell him you said the Chubbs thing, because I never made that connection, but now I can see it.
yeah, I just the way he comes out and talk about how golf is the best and all that. I was like, this sounds it even sounds just like him, but when he's teaching Happy Gilmore how to play golf and everything, and it just resonated with me. That's what it reminded me of. So I was like, I gotta tell them this when I interview them. I gotta tell them this. I wonder if they pick this up. But even
Well, if you think
the
I'm cool, if you think I'm cooler for it, yes, it was definitely on purpose.
yeah, and the party off scene was hysterical, and I like the fact that that one scene had kind of bit of meta to it, because when they're like, "You haven't said more than 3 lines in this entire film," I'm like, I was like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
so they know they're in a movie now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was so funny that you guys used that meta part of it. That was pretty funny as well.
Thank you. That was one of the best scenes, funnest films to see. And I think, right, so we did that like in the beginning. So I feel like that kind of got everybody, we're like, we're gonna do this party scene. And I think that got everybody kind of into the mode of what this movie's gonna be like. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think like you brought up how we pulled a lot of talent from that improv troupe. We kind of wanted like a built-in chemistry to happen too, just because all these caddies are friends and have worked together for years. So then we scheduled the first day of shooting to be a lot of like group caddy scenes. And I think the party off scene was the end of the first day of shooting too, because it could be something fun and everybody just like have a good time together and kind of build off that for the rest of the film. And it worked really. Like everyone had a blast that day. It was a long day, but they had a blast.
We tricked him to come back.
Yeah, we did.
So how long did shooting take altogether? And were there any challenges that you faced during production at all? Like, I know it's an indie film. You're always gonna have some sort of challenge, but what were the challenges that you faced during production?
Well, we probably filmed, well, everybody kind of has like 9 to 5s. It's, just to supplement income and things like that. And honestly, this movie doesn't pay much at all. But we probably filmed 4 to 6 weeks, like mostly weekends, and then a lot of pickup shots with gophers and things like that. But we tried to wrap the cast as quick as we could. Production in total probably took about 3 years, but most of that was just doing all the gopher things and stuff like that. I'd say like the hardest part about production was maybe 2 or 3 days into filming, the camera that we were using died. So we had to go out. It was like the director of photography's personal camera. So we had to go out and rent the same model camera so we could still use all the lenses and all of the things like that. And that was kind of a nightmare, a logistical and financial nightmare we weren't really prepared for.
Yeah, it really sank us down there,
Yeah.
but we definitely got all the actors done as quick as possible again, so they couldn't leave. So we're like, we got
Yes,
the Gopher puppets ain't going anywhere. And we
exactly.
knew they ain't gonna get up and run away. So we got all the actors done as much as possible. But it did take like a couple months. Again, I think we started, the weather was nice, everyone's got their shorts on and their short sleeve shirts. By the time we shot the end scene with the rain of blood and everything, it was freezing outside and it's the middle of the night. So they went, if you ask them what the biggest struggles were, I'm telling you, that's gonna probably be what it was. It was probably being in our little caddy shack for when sweltering, dying of heat exhaustion, and then being outside freezing to death, being covered in blood for about 6 hours.
They were just They were good sports about it, but it was
Yeah.
not fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. But
And
overall,
they didn't complain that much. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it was a healthy amount of complaining, but they did.
Yes.
It was not the worst I've ever heard.
Justifiable complaining.
Right? Yeah.
yeah, no, it'll happen. But overall, man, this was a fun movie. And you know what? I'm going to say this right now. I'm hoping there's going to be a Caddy Hack 2 down the road. I would be all in. I would be totally all in for a Caddy Hack 2.
I'm hoping too. I hope everyone likes. I hope everyone if everyone digs us as much as you do. Hopefully, we'll have. I already have an idea for the sequel. So
There you go.
this does well, I hope that we do end up doing a sequel to it.
That's awesome. So what is next for you guys after this?
We have a few things we're talking about, but nothing really cement in stone kind of a thing. Yeah, and you want to talk about any of it?
I mean, right now it's just trying to get funding for a couple. I mean, I have. If right now if someone gave me money, I have a list of 10 movies, depending on what they're looking for. Yeah, but we're gonna be doing, I believe, another movie for Wild Eye, which is gonna be if it's gonna be crazier and funnier than Caddy Hack. I don't know if I'm allowed. I don't know if how much I'm allowed to talk about, but we will have something else from Wild Eye that will be again more insane than this movie. And if you enjoy this movie, you'll definitely like that movie, and you'll like the subject matter of it if you're into low budget independent horror movies,
Which I am.
We're all familiar with.
Like I love. I mean, I love these. I love low budget indie films, especially because they're more original than the same old tired A studio film. I mean, let's just face it. And speaking of Wild Eye, I love their Visual Vengeance label as well. They're bringing back all these old classic shot on video horror flicks, and actually,
They actually do a lot with like a lot of the people we work with. I don't know if you're familiar. We worked on 2 movies called High Death and High Fear, which were anthologies that we're a part of. And a lot of the dudes like Brad Sykes, Todd Sheets, Tim Ritter, they're all putting on their new movies out, or not new movies.
The older movies. Yeah, the older movies are being re-released.
They're showing video stuff out with Video Vengeance. But I actually worked with Brad a little bit on some of the special features for his, like Scream Queen and stuff like that. I edited a lot of the behind the scenes.
That's awesome. Well, Caddy Hack is coming out October 24th. If you like Caddyshack, if you like Gremlins, and if you like Troma, this is like the perfect little package for all three. And because this is a wild, over-the-top horror comedy, do not take this seriously. Just have fun with it. And once again, thank you, Anthony and Sarah, for taking the time to talk about it.
No, thank you. And
thank you so much.
And if you want more information about us at all, you can go to whyfilms.com. So it's DIYfilms.com.
All right. I'm going to put that in the description. So
thank you.
Video. So thank you guys again, and you all take care.
All right,
you as well. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.